3 months after the last upload, and a full 5 months after the last analysis video, Freedom Flash's channel lay dormant and quiet. It was dull as shit. For Christ's sakes, Continuum. What? It is! I'm taking a break, it's relaxing. Yeah, but for 5 months? They literally aired a season of Sherlock in the time you were gone. Trump became president in the time you were gone. The asshole who animates us got new software, new vectors, and friggin' background music in the time you were gone. Yep, and I don't care. I'm having a good time, and you can't stop me. Oh, I think I can do something about it. What? You see, Michael didn't just give us new vectors. He also gave me a teleport animation, and I've just been dying to use it. Wait. Oh, shit! Oh, where am I? You're in a hole, and you're not getting out of there until you do a new, decent length review. There'll be no cheaping out on this one. What did you have in mind? Oh, I don't know. The entirety of Season 1 should do the trick. The entire season? Are you crazy? I think we both know the answer to that one. Fine, I'll do it. Can you at least let me out of this hole now? Sure thing, friend. Twice. He dropped me twice. Hello everybody, my name is Freedom Flash, and in the name of transforming myself into Anthony Cannon, I'm going to review an entire season of MLP in one video. Fun. Episodes 1 and 2, Friendship is Magic, Part 1 and 2. Narration, sir! Now, there are many people who would complain about me saying the show is too immature, given the fact that it's designed for children. But when you use unicorn powers instead of magic, I reserve the right to call you out on it. And speaking of superfluous scripture, why are you sending Celestia a letter about this old legend given that she is obviously in it? Suffice to say, I think she knows already. At least we got Fluttershy's character set up for the next infinity of seasons. Let's see. Good. Could have been better, but good. Applejack. What the heck? My main complaint isn't even with the general premise of this, just some slight alteration would have fixed it. Applejack tells Twilight that Rainbow and Fluttershy will catch her. Twilight's still freaking out, so AJ goes, "Trust me," and Twilight lets go. That would have fixed the scene for me because my main problem with it is that Twilight really has no reason to trust AJ here. It's just blind faith. Elements, speech.
You're kidding.
Celestia returns from wherever the heck she was, and we are blessed with a new waifu. Next! Episode 3, The Ticket Master.
If I win, he's gonna walk down Stirrup Street and want to grant his girdles.
Oh yes. How horrifying. Why do you care? You hate social stuff. Remember what you were like 2 episodes ago? Why do you want to go to the gala? It can't be to go with your newfound friends, because they're all assholes in this episode.
Hello, sweet child. We were waiting for you.
Fun fact, having a horseshoe over the door is good because it's supposed to catch luck. But if you have an upside down one, it's unlucky because all the luck tips out. But bad luck or none of you should have those tickets. You were all assholes. None of you deserve this magic self-levitating... Wait, they can do that? Episode 4, Applebug Season, wherein the orange one falls asleep standing up and is generally a cute mule all episode. No offense.
None taken.
Who the hell are you? You know, it took a surprisingly long time for Applejack to go from sleepy to tired. The next step being death and caffeine.
Okay, Twilight. I am not taking no for an answer. What?
You know, I'd be surprised too, but considering this was next on the agenda, I'm not shocked. At least this is going to cut off before depression. Episode 5, Griffin the Brush Off. Have you ever been so shocked that you changed gender for a moment? Don't answer that. Just hearken to our Lord and Savior. I suppose this episode did a good job of showing that you are the one who chooses your friends, and that if someone is being an asshole, it's alright to thin the herd. Which is a good, serious moral. But screw that, let's go back to being flippant. Episode 6, Boast Busters.
You may not have the looks, you may not have the dash, but you'll win yourself a girl if you've only got a mustache, a mustache, a mustache, if you've only got a mustache.
Episode 7, Dragon Shy. This is an excellent episode about finding confidence in yourself and others, overcoming fear to do what you believe is right. That being said, I have one question. What the hell are you doing on this mountain? I know it worked out, and it turns out that you did need Fluttershy, but that's the thing, it turned out. You forced a person who is afraid of everything to come to a mountain in the middle of nowhere, and then were surprised when she was afraid of the gigantic smoke-spewing dragon. How do you even find that remotely justifiable? How? At least the Ponk one was good. Episode 8, Look Before You Sleep. Also known as that one episode that started the Rarity ship.
Do be a polite house guest and go wash up, please, won't you?
Oh, I know that feeling. The perfectly reasonable request that you are loath to agree to because of who's giving it. Also known as Volta-Schoblicate. How is Rarity even competing with Applejack in this bit? Farmer versus seamstress. At that, a seamstress who normally uses magic. How? Again, this is a good episode. It does a decent job of showing both acceptance and concession, but I don't agree with Applejack being the one to apologize. Sure, she may have been a bit blunt in her approach, but the fact of the matter is that she was being entirely practical about what was happening, whilst Rarity was being both impractical and actively working against the main purpose of the exercise. It may just be me, but I feel like Applejack's apology was a massive concession made to get Rarity to do anything. Episode 9, Bridal Gossip.
Zombies?
No, silly Spike. Those don't show up till season 6.
This is your conscience speaking.
Book, cover, yada yada. Chalk up a new entry on a list of characters that will be severely underused from now on. I love the poison joke, both for what it did and just the way the flower looks. And I enjoyed the Appletini and the Flutter guy. And I'm running out of things to say now, but at least we got through this without a single— Oh, come on! Episode 10, Storm of the Century. You're just going to leave that there, are you? Okay, I have serious complaints to be made about this episode. Number 1. Twilights Group being of reduced intelligence. Pinkie Pie refers to the Parasprites by name, and you're just gonna shrug it off? What? Number 2. Pinkie Pie being of reduced intelligence. Yes, despite the density of Twilight & Co., the fact of the matter is that Pinkie could have been a touch clearer with her intentions. I know, she is Pinkie Pie, but still. I can understand why they did it like this though. Doing an episode about communication in this format without making people a bit obtuse is hard.
Winter wrap-up, let's finish our holiday.
You are a natural, Twilight! A natural disaster!
You sassy shit. And why is she covered in tomato sauce? You use honey to deal with bee stings. I should know, I was stung while writing this script. And to make doubly sure, I actually got stung before the script and didn't put honey on it, and it itched like hell for 2 days after. Bee stings aside, I've hit something of a wall on this episode. And walk with me for a moment here. If the problem was the organization of everyone involved, and Twilight had to step in to fix it, then what is Mayor Mere's job? Is not the entire point of having a mayor in the first place to lead and organize everyone? And yet the best we see her do in this episode is a speech. Ladies and gentlemen, government, where we elect the loud, not the capable. Episode 12, Call of the Cutie. Why do you even want to go? She's been nothing but a raging asshole to you this whole time, and you want to go to her birthday party?
The key here is to try as many things as possible as quickly as possible. One of them is bound to lead to your cutie mark.
Well, that's not going to become a recurring theme. Episode 13, Four-Wheeler Friends. Okay, there's quite a bit here, so let's power through this. Number 1. Applejack should have won the Hoof wrestle. I am fully aware that Dashi is more speed-orientated and that runners typically have better overall fitness and strength when compared to people like weightlifters. Weightlifters actually have the worst overall performance by a long shot. But while Applejack is more heavy lifting orientated, she should still have better strength for this. On top of that, Dashy's strength is almost entirely focused on her wings, which means that beating Applejack as thoroughly as she did is utterly ridiculous. Number 2. How is this even a sport? What do they do if Spike isn't around? Use young foals? Why isn't Twilight intervened yet? That's racist. And turkeys can't fly, you hillbilly. No, actually, that's wrong. A real hillbilly would know that turkeys can't fly. Number 6. I really like this bit. This is how you handle a situation. 10 out of 10 would watch again. Number 7. This symbol is called an Interrobang. Number 8. If there is one thing this episode does really well, it's comparing Applejack and Rainbow Dash. It shows both as competitive, but then shows the differences outside that competitiveness. Applejack is more level-headed as she listens to Twilight, realizing and accepting her own mistake. Meanwhile, Dash ignores Twilight because she can't hear her over her own outrage. And earlier on at the start of the race, the difference is shown further still. Both mares think Twilight's participation is ludicrous, but Applejack shows off more self-control and wishes her friend luck. Meanwhile, Rainbow just laughs her ass off, showing herself as more insensitive whilst Applejack is respectful. However, Applejack is not a paragon as she lowers herself to tit for tat towards the end. I'd say that Applejack is the better pony in this episode, but I'd also say that having Applejack initiate the apology and moral was the right choice because it fits with their personalities. Of course Applejack spoke first, that's who she is. Just as Rainbow might need someone to take the lead in a situation like this. Dear God, that was long. Next one! Episode 14, Suited for Success. Is it just me, or does Rarity's work mane look really good? Like, really good. I think I prefer it over a normal mane.
What are you supposed to pack when you go into exile? You're supposed to pack warm?
That'd be practical. It looks like the animators had a lot of fun with this scene. There is a lot going on here. And all of it fits with the characters and their dresses. Speaking of, I really like the Gala dresses. All of them work for the characters they represent. I'd question why Rainbow's dress seems to draw from Dionysus, given that the super speedy Cider Squeezy isn't due till next season, but that's just thinking aloud.
In other words, you shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Okay, hold up. This is about to get heavy because that phrase carries much greater implications than you might think. The phrase, a gift horse in the mouth, comes from the fact that the easiest way to tell a horse's age and general condition is to examine its teeth. The phrase means that if someone gives you a horse, you should not immediately check its teeth to make sure you are not receiving an old nag. Certainly not while the gift giver is still there. In order for the horse to be given as a gift, it has to be property. It has to be owned by someone. All this means that not only did Equestria used to have slaves, it also had them for long enough, and publicly enough, for it to become a phrase that persists hundreds of years later. Stick that up your head cannon and smoke it. Episode 15, Feeling Pinkie Keen. Okay, I have a pretty strong opinion of the moral of this episode, so I'll try and exercise some restraint. The problem I have with this episode is voluntary faith versus blind faith. Because one is a reasonable and even useful tool, while the other is both irrational and flat out dangerous. We use faith all the time. Faith is the reason I believe the people on the other end of the telephone are real. Faith is the reason that I trust my computer. I have no idea how it works, I just know that it does what it does and that's good enough for me. That's voluntary faith. It's something we choose to accept based on the evidence. On the other end of the spectrum, there's blind faith, choosing to believe something regardless of the evidence for or against. My number will come up this time for sure! I don't need antibiotics, it'll be fine! Homeopathy is so much better than chemotherapy. Well, guess what? Now you're broke, you're sick, and you're dead. My problem with the episode is that, while their visuals and plot are about voluntary faith, the dialogue isn't. If you watch the episode, you can see that Twilight chooses to accept Pinkie's pinky sense in the face of overwhelming evidence. But if you only listen to the episode, especially the final moral, it sounds like she was talked into it for no reason. I mean, just look at the jump scene. It's even worse than the scene with Applejack in the season premiere. Pinkie had no idea how Twilight was going to make it out, and there's not even an indication that she was getting anything from her Pinkie sense. It just doesn't work for me. Episode 16, Sonic Rainboom. This episode tells us something very important. Rainbow is number 7. Derpy is number 15. Dash is swapping numbers with other ponies, and later we see her with the number 15 tag. From what we're shown, it can be assumed that when she came out, Derpy was number 7. Which means...
I love number 7. Doing 15 barrel rolls in a row can't be easy.
Smacks of a knock to the head, eh? Speaking of, it seems that Rarity received one earlier because I am having genuine difficulty figuring out how she found this gaudy costume so much as passable. I mean, look at the damn thing. It needs an exorcism. Episode 17, Stairmaster. Well, let's hear it for character progression, because if the CMC stayed like this for the rest of the series, I would have taken extraordinarily violent exception. Episode 18, The Showstoppers. Remember what I said about character progression? This is better. You are still colossal morons, but whatever. This is so much better than the last one. Episode 19, A Dog and Pony Show. Well, this is interesting. I don't have all that much to say about this one, just that it was really fun to watch. Rarity interacting with the Diamond Dogs was hilarious, as was the rest of the episode. I never watched this one the first time around, and I am thoroughly regretting it now. I never quite saw the moral coming though. It's a variation of the old book cover moral, except that this time it's don't assume a person's skill based on their personality. Interesting. Episode 20, Green Isn't Your Color. Well, I got 2 out of this one, so here we go! Number 1. People have different interests. It may seem like a bit of a simple moral, but it's still a good one. Some people would love to be famous, others would prefer to be left alone. People have different interests and tastes. A simple moral that people all too readily forget. Number 2. If you know a secret, and it's hurting someone, tell them! Keeping secrets is sometimes an important part of keeping a person's trust. But for God's sake, Pinkie, if you're promised to keep a secret and you can see the good that will come from its revelation, by all means break that promise. Which one is more important? Your friend's trust, or your friend? Episode 21, Over a Barrel. Caboose!
Now, I am thinking about kittens!
Why won't anybody be rational and reasonable?
Because he's clearly passing a difficult kidney stone right now? Okay, so the whole conflict of this episode is that the buffalo stampeding trail goes right through the only piece of flat land in the area, and the Appaloosans have built an orchard on it because it's the only piece of flat land. But if that's the case, then what the hell is this? There's a massive area of flat land right bloody there, what the hell? Oh, and you thought this episode was similar to Western settlers and the Indian people before! Episode 22, A Bird in the Hoof, is worth 2 in your bush.
I'm late for a very important date.
No time to say hello, goodbye, I'm late. Twy, who gives a shit if she likes your friends? That's not her job. Now, it's probably worth mentioning that, while writing this script, I am at the stage where you find everything stupidly funny because you're tired for no apparent reason. That being said, I currently find it utterly hilarious that Pinkie Pie kicks this mare in the face. It amuses me. Fun fact, birds can't sing while they fly, with the exception of skylarks, who do literally nothing else. Well, she's dead. Dumbledore, you're back!
Your bird, he just caught fire.
Episode 23, The Cutie Chronicles. Those ducklings have now been eaten by a snake. Little known fact, Fluttershy is made out of clouds and the well-wishers of fairies. This episode is fairly unique in that it's the first episode since the season opener to not have any real moral. I suppose there's something here about hope, but it's saccharine even for a show about small cartoon horses. Not that it really matters, the episode was more about lore building than giving a proper moral. And in that regard it does pretty well. New Apple relatives, Pinkie's family, Twy's family, and of course the stories themselves.
Ew!
Yes, even if they were a bit saccharine, Scoots. Episode 24, All's Well That Ends Well. Well, I genuinely don't have much to say about this one. It's well done. Sometimes it's a bit too easy to forget that Spike is basically a child, so his actions more or less make sense here. I do criticize Rarity for instantly giving Owlicious his own bow, but still. Aren't you forgetting something? What? Listen.
OMG.
So? Listen.
OMG.
Twilight said OMG. Yep. I'm never forgetting that, am I? No. Shit. Episode 25, Party of One. Applejack, being honest does not mean you are a bad liar. It just means they never see it coming. I admire your dedication, Rarity, but you are a worse liar than Applejack. Why do those glasses have a human nose?
Beautiful weather we're having, eh? I love a sunny spring day, don't you?
Pinkie Pie has just been Pinkie Pied. Does not compute.
And I'm the one who used up all the hot water in Ponyville yesterday when I took a 7-hour bubble bath.
Wait, all the hot water in the entire town? What kind of shitty infrastructure is that?
Your friends are all lying to you and avoiding you because they don't like your parties and they don't want to be your friends anymore.
No! Okay, I quite like this episode, although I do have a couple of complaints. The first is that I would have liked to see the main five react to the massive visual cue that is Pinkie's main deflation. Secondly, I have a bit of a problem with the moral. While you should never assume the worst of your friends, it's also true that you shouldn't always blindly assume the best either. You have to be careful. Thirdly, this gramophone is done in a slightly different art style to the rest of the show, and it frustrates me! Episode 26. The best night ever. Well, finally, it's the end of the season, and we've reached the grand galloping gala. I can't wait for things to go wrong. I'll take this time to remind you that this mare is here for the sole purpose of making a shit ton of money. That's it. That is the only reason she is here. And somewhere, deep down, I respect her for that. Murphy's Law, bitch! Okay, now everything's fallen apart, I can talk about the episode. It went exactly how I expected it to. Live the dream, dream gets smashed. Smash everything else in revenge. Although I will point out that from Applejack's comments, it's clear that these ponies have been putting up with this for the last hour. Rarity has been with Bluebird for the last hour. Pinkie Pie has been at that table for the last hour. Twilight has been waiting for the last hour. That's dedication. There's a moral here about how friends make things fun and worthwhile, but let's face it, it's a bit tacked on. The purpose of the episode was to end the season. Closed off, goodbye, the Grand Galloping Gala was shit, it's time to go home. Well, it wasn't a complete waste of time. How's that? It's the perfect opportunity to break into the castle vault. You sneaky son of a... Well, goodbye!
Hey, there he is!
I've been Freedom Flash, and thanks for watching. Now, officer, I can explain— Ow! My noggin!